I want to congratulate the guys to my right, our football team, our coaching staff. This is a tremendous year, and we came out west for a business trip. Also to enjoy it. Our guys are in curfew every night because of the leadership of these guys here. We had good practices, but you know what? I do want to compliment Central Florida. They had an excellent football team. They were well coached. What a heck of a football game. We're glad to be Fiesta Bowl champs. I want to thank the Fiesta Bowl people for the tremendous hospitality, tremendous facilities, one of the best bowls I've ever been to. And, you know, invite us back. We plan to come on back.
We'll now open it for questions again. If you could raise your hand and identify yourself, we'll get a mic to you. We're going to start on the right side, fourth row.
James Moran with Tiger Rag. First for Ed and then for Joe. Just what were your thoughts on the hit in the first quarter after the interception? Do you think it was dirty or should have been a penalty? And just how about the way kind of Joe bounced back from that?
You asking me?
You and then Joe.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was targeting. It looked like targeting. I thought it should have been called targeting.
So the only thing I'm going to say about it is the only reason I didn't get up in 1 second is because I got the wind knocked out of me, and I would have got up immediately if that didn't happen.
But you finished the game.
Question here in the left, second row.
Coach Greg Moore, Arizona Republic, could you compare UCF to some of the other schools you faced this season?
No, they were very talented. I walked out, I was surprised by the size of their football team. Very well coached. It was a battle. They're a good football team, and I can see why they won 25 games in a row, obviously. Well coached, but today we were just a little bit better.
On the right here, third row.
Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV. To coaching the players, you talked about blocking out the noise, and you always had another game to move on to. But now that the season's over, you played 8 ranked opponents. The schedule you played, you're going to win 10 games. You're going to finish in the top 10. You won the Fiesta Bowl. What? Just recapping, how does that feel to you?
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous feat to the season. I look at the players. I think of the leadership to the right of me here. I think of the great players we have, the great coaches we have, and the LSU tradition. We had a tradition to uphold. I think at the beginning of the season, all this stuff going out there, we blocked out the noise, but it galvanized our football team. I do believe when we look back at this season, we're going to look at some games, at the Florida game and the Texas A&M game, that we should have won. Out of circumstances in the Florida game, we should have controlled that. Circumstances we couldn't control the Texas A&M game, and we should have been 11-1 in some cases going into this football game. I think we're going to learn from that going next year.
Okay, we're going to stay on the left here.
Ed, how much guts do you think your team showed today?
A lot of guts. Grit. I mean, we talk about grit. Jack Barucci is a good friend of mine. We talk about grit all the time. Our guys have grit. They practice with grit. We block out the noise. You know, a lot of adversity. Look at the DBs that we didn't have in the game. Nobody made them blank. There was going to be no excuses. We're going to put 11 men on the field and we fight like tigers. These men to my right and the men in that room and our coaching staff has built something special at LSU.
Third row on the left.
Coach Eric Newman, Times Media Group. You have a kicker that breaks some great records. What can he teach the guys going forward for your team?
Say again.
So what can he teach for your future kickers down the line?
Just kick the ball like Cole did. I'll show him the film, and you know we signed an excellent kicker. I got to give Coach McMahon the credit. He did all the evaluation of Cole, and the first time I saw him kick, I was in camp. So we signed a good kicker. We like him. I think that we're going to continue to go on, but this guy's special. He has some special intangibles about himself. He's a winner. He's going to be a good NFL kicker for a long time.
Left, first row.
Coach, I mean, before the season, the expectations were you guys might win only 7 or 8 games. That's what the supposed experts said.
Yeah.
So what's the message you have after this season and going forward towards next season?
You really want to know? We share the comment in the locker room, and that's how I feel about it. But you know what? Here's the deal. People are going to talk. Let them talk the way they want. We blocked out the noise. Our guys overcame a lot of adversity. We came together. In camp, we thought we had a good football team. We knew we were going to beat Miami deep in our heart. We knew we were going to play well. Went to Auburn, we were a little bit behind. We fought. We played lights out against Georgia. We played some good football this year, and it's a tribute to our football team and our players.
On the right, second row.
Joe, after the hit, what was your mentality throughout those next couple of drives? And it just seems like you're a real motivated player. What were your kind of thoughts going into those drives after that hit?
Score touchdowns, complete passes. I didn't really think about the hit too much after I got up. Hurt for a second, and I got right up and went on to the next play.
On the left, far back riser.
I'd like all three players to talk about this and just maybe brag on your teammates a little bit. We can start with you, Joe. Back in the cameras, bud. To your left. Just the toughness. You know, you talk about the hit. Devin says finish the game. Rashard, you know, you guys had 6, I think, defensive linemen today. Just the toughness that this team had, the willingness to finish. I think you guys do, you know, exemplify that. And how much is that expected of one another?
It's very important from leaders to exude toughness throughout the entire game, and it doesn't start during the season. It starts in the weight room in the off season. And if your best leaders aren't your best workers, then you're not going to be a very good football team.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, that's one of our strengths of our team is leaning on each other through tough times. We've been through a lot on and off the field, and it's pretty easy when you got brothers that you love playing with week in and week out to just lean on them. And you know, we don't like to complain too much. It does get tough, but we have each other and keep on pushing.
Yeah, we just came in with the next man up mindset, especially for the defense, because we knew we was going to be missing a lot of key players. You know, I told them it was a great opportunity to make a name for themselves, and I think a lot of people did that. And, you know, we one team, one heartbeat, so we stick together through it all.
Front row here on the left.
Joe, could you just talk about the success of the underneath passing game? It was there all day. And then, Ed, if you could just comment a little bit more on the secondary, given the people that then were ejected in this game.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the game, they were kind of sitting on our short routes, so we had to start throwing it deep. And we hit a couple, and then we got them to back off, so that opened up the underneath game. And, you know, we really had it clicking on all cylinders in the passing game today.
You know, you think about Kerry Vincent, he lost his father the day before we got on the plane, and he came play for his father. You think about grit, you think about toughness that it took for that young man to get on that plane, come to practice every day and not blink. We lost one of our best players in Grant Delbert. Our guys stepped up, Todd Harris, John Battle, Jacoby Stevens, Manny Nettles out there for the first time. That corner, we lost our, I don't know, it seemed like our 5th corner we lost. We put Manny in there, and he played very well. You talk about the next man up, 11 men on the field, and we fight like tigers, and they did it.
Second row on the right.
Coach, and I guess the defensive players, did y'all do anything unorthodox at all to kind of cover up those holes in the secondary?
You know, Dave had a great game plan. He worked tirelessly. So did our defensive staff and all of our players. This was a great challenge. We blitzed a lot today. We had a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We played some cover 2 when we need to. He mixed up the coverages. I thought he did a tremendous job calling the game.
Yeah, I feel like we did some new stuff. Big man over there finally got to the ball, to the quarterback, so that was new. You know, he had 2 sacks in the game. He won defensive MVP, well-deserved. And, you know, it all started with him up front because he's the lead on that D-line. And when he plays well, the whole D-line, really the whole defense plays well. So it started with him. That was something new. He came with it today.
Front row on the right.
Coach, you know, you complimented this UCF team, saying you could see why they won 25 games. Do you think the committee did them a disservice by not inviting them to the playoffs and giving them the opportunity to play for a title? And then to the players, do you guys think this was one of the more physical games you guys played this season?
You know, that's not for me to decide. I worry about my team and what we do, so I have no comment on that. But I will say I want to compliment them. I think they're an excellent football team.
As far as physicality, their offense, it was mainly speed, want to get to the outside. It really wasn't a trench game. So, I don't really, think they could play in the SEC week in and week out with the style of play they play with.
Yeah, they were a big speed team. They got to the edge a couple times on us. Earlier in the game, they did try to go inside a couple times, and we kind of shut them down. So we got some of the best athletes in the country, on the outside. So once we shut the run down and made them go outside, it kind of played into our hands.
Look, they're a hell of a team, but as far as a physical game, we play in the SEC every week. So I've played more physical games than that, for sure.
Front row on the left.
Ed, to hold this team to 250 yards of offense, can you kind of put that into perspective, please?
Just again, Coach Aranda, the whole staff had a great plan, but you're looking to the right when you got Devin White and you got Rashard Lawrence and you got the type of players we have. I think that they executed the game plan. We had a month to prepare. I thought overall it was a great job by our coaching staff and a great job by our players. The difference tonight was the pressure on the quarterback. We had more pressure on the quarterback than we had all year. And I thought our guys, that made the difference in the whole game.
Third row on the right.
Rashard, can you just speak to your game today? Just what was working and how did it feel to have that kind of performance and end the year like this?
Well, it was good. The last month and, toward the back end of the season, I've really been working on my pass rush and just trying to have a good get-off, working with Coach O and Coach Johnson day in and day out on conditioning and being able to go. So today, they kind of got me isolated with some one-on-one situations, and I took advantage of it.
On the riser, on the left.
Joe, could you comment on Jamar Chase's game and his progression throughout the year? Maybe, Ed, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the receiver as well.
Yeah, so all of those young receivers got a lot better throughout this bowl practice and throughout the season. I haven't seen a group of young receivers as advanced as those guys in my times in college. And, those guys have a ways to go, and they're really good right now, so they're going to be special next year. Him, Terrace, Jets, those guys are going to be special.
Far left here, front row.
Tyler Drake, 98.7 FM, Arizona Sports. Coach, what can you say about your quarterback's play over the course of the year and especially in this bowl game?
Yeah, I'm glad we went to Mike Anderson's. They liked the crawfish. I think that's what got him there. And but we've been proud of Joe and the way he plays. He's smart. I thought tonight Steve Ensminger did a great job of calling the plays. The receivers did a good job. Joe's an excellent quarterback. We believe in him. And he's got excellent leadership skills. He's come to practice every day, works every day. He's exactly what we feel like an LSU quarterback ought to be.
I'm going to stay here on the left, very front row.
Devin, you were talking about what it meant to you to play in this game and why you wanted to play. How would you encapsulate, the fact that what did the game mean to you? I guess that's the best way to put it.
This game meant the world to me, because it was the next game up, as I said, multiple times. These are my brothers, and, I love playing with them. I tell everybody every time I talk how much I love Louisiana. I grew up watching the LSU Tigers, and, anytime I got a chance to put on this purple and gold jersey, I'm all for it. And, I'm just so happy we got the victory, a 10-win season. That's a great way to start the New Year's off.
Second row on the left.
Coach Greg Moore, Arizona Republic, you spoke earlier about whether UCF should have been invited to a playoff. I'm curious your thoughts about whether the playoff ought to expand to 8 teams.
Yeah. I said before, that's not for me to decide. I know this, we're very close to getting into this year, a game or two away. And I'm going to let other people decide that. And if they do expand and they invite us, we're going. And, but other than that, we're going to work to get in the top 4. And I need to say something too. I didn't say something about our season. Our athletic director, Joe Oliva, has been excellent to us. They've given us everything we wanted, all the tools I asked for. We had more analysts this year. I think our analysts made a decisive difference in our preparation this year, and Joe has been behind that. He's been behind us, giving us everything we want. He's been supportive of our football player, and I think he's an excellent athletic director.
This will be our last question, third row on the right.
To Coach and to Joe, Joe had a lot on his plate coming here a couple of months before the year and everything. How much momentum is the passing game picking up going into the offseason? And a year from now, with him here, you know, how
it looked like the passing game we wanted. And again, we had 30 days to get ready. Joe was on the money. We have some tremendous receivers. We want to run a spread offense, create space, put the ball in our playmakers' hands. I think I graded the passing game tonight an A+, and exactly what we wanted, exactly what I've always dreamed about our passing game being at LSU.
So the passing game always starts with the protection, and tonight those guys did a hell of a job, and they played their asses off for me. And you know, it gives us a lot of momentum going into next year. I think we're going to be really special. We can do some great things as long as we keep our feet on the gas pedal and keep working.
Wonderful. This concludes today's LSU press conference. Thank you so much.
Go Tigers.